What's up, guys? It's Chris here to do my predictions for WEC 51. Going to be kind of brief, only because I talked about these fights yesterday on the radio show Science of Violence Radio with Fight Magazine's Danny Acosta. Did a much more thorough breakdown. I will put a link in the information bar of the video if you'd like to go back and check or listen to that. We also talked about UFC 119, what we thought of the fights and whatnot. But anyways, this event, WEC 51, going down on Thursday. Kind of interesting. WEC usually runs on either Wednesdays or Sundays, so kind of unusual that they're going on a Thursday, but it's all good. As Danny reminded me yesterday, Bellator runs on Thursday, although I get to see those at all times of the night because of the crazy schedule they're on with Fox Sports Net and delays and everything else. But anyways, looking forward to this fight. I look forward to every WC event. Always good events, never disappointed. Usually good cards as always, and this card's really stacked. It's unfortunate that we don't get more time on these events because I could go with seeing just about every card on here and be cool with it. So, but we'll see. Anyways, I'm not really going to touch up the underground or the undercard too much. Maybe just talk about a couple fights real quick. We got the first Chinese fighter in WEC, T. Quan Zhang, making his debut against Jason Reinhardt. Kind of a big deal because WEC and Zuffa in general, who owns the UFC as well, they're trying to spread into the Chinese market, so they bringing in a fighter, to try to get into that market. And I believe that, their match is ending up favorably. Reinhardt got a really good record, only one loss, but when they brought him up to the big leagues, the UFC, he got smoked by Joe Lazone. So I'm going to go with T. Quan Zhang here. And I'm not even sure if we're going to see these undercard bouts, but we usually get one or two undercard bouts slipped on the broadcast because the main card usually will fly by with these WECs. The other bout I wanted to talk about, actually two more. Chan Sung Young taking on George Roop, the Korean Zombie, making his anticipated return after his Fight of the Year candidate earlier this year against Leonard Garcia. Really looking forward to seeing this fight. I favor Chan Sung Young. Both guys like to stand and trade, but I just think Chan Sung Young is a little bit better. No disrespect to Roop, but we'll see. Obviously we'll know by the end of the fight or the end of the night who really is the better fighter. But I'm gonna go with the Korean Zombie. It's hard to pick against that guy or even root against him after that fight he had earlier this year. I was fortunate enough to be there at that fight live. Just awesome fight. Plus he comes out to, the song "Zombie" by the Cranberries. How awesome is that? I don't know if he chose it or not, but it's just good stuff all the way around. Also, you got Chris Hordesky taking on Ed 9mm Ratcliffe. This was a fight that was already supposed to take place, but unfortunately, I believe Ed or Chris, one of those guys got hurt. But anyways, it's happening now. I really hope we get to see this fight. This is probably the fight second most fight I'm looking forward to on the card. Maybe third most, up there though. Top three. Both guys like to stand and trade. Both guys have kind of flashy stand-up. I'd say Hordesky, after watching his last fight, he's more inclined to go to the ground of these two. But, Ed's not that bad on the ground. He hung with Cerrone for a while down there, in spite of all the nut shots he took throughout the fight. So, I really like Ed 9mm Ratcliffe. I'm a fan of his style. I like his personality. I think he's just a very entertaining and engaging fighter. And I'm looking for an exciting fight here. I think he's got a little more on the feet, than a little more firepower in his arsenal than Chris Hordesky. Although I do think Hordesky's a little better on the ground, but I don't think he's good enough to submit Ed. So I'm going to go with Ed 9mm Ratcliffe to win this fight by TKO. And what should be one of the better fights tonight? And once again, I really hope we get a chance to see it. Mike Brown, Cole Province. Not a lot to say about this. Mike Brown got knocked out by Manny Gamburyan in his last fight. Surprisingly, shockingly, actually. Once again, I was at that fight and just came out of nowhere. Really stunned the crowd in attendance. But he's making his return against Cole Province. No disrespect to Cole Province, but I think he's a bit of a step down. I think WC wants to get Mike Brown back on track, and I think he should be able to do so. So I'm looking for Mike Brown by TKO to win this fight. Just a bigger, better, stronger, more physical fighter. Last fight. Oh no, that's it. That's it for the undercard. Okay, on to the televised portion of the card. First fight got Leonard Garcia, Bad Boy, against Mark Hominick. Both guys coming off some really exciting fights. Garcia, as I already mentioned, had that Fight of the Year candidate against a Korean Zombie. Mark Hominick also had a Fight of the Year candidate against Yves Jabouin. This is an exciting fight. At least it looks like it. You never know. I thought Jeremy Stevens, Melvin Guillard this past weekend was going to be really exciting. It didn't turn out that much. But I think this will be a good fight. Both guys kind of were interested in fighting one another. Both guys primarily like to stand and bang it out. I'm going to favor Hominick, though. Leonard Garcia, His style is wild. He never really seems to improve it. It's just a very wild, rudimentary striking style. Just swings from the hips. But it's been effective for the most part in getting him decisions. Mark Hominick, the much more crisp, technical striker, and I think that's going to get him the win here. Leonard's tough, so I think it'll go to decision, but I think Mark Hominick's striking and his precision is going to get him a decision. But you never know. Leonard Garcia seems to be able to get decisions with that wild style of his that gets the fans and the judges in his favor. He seems to get their catch their eye with just the way he wings it. So you never know. Who knows? Mark Hominick may win the fight in my eyes, and Leonard might get the decision. You never know. I thought Korean Zombie deserved the fight earlier this year, but they gave it to Leonard. So that said, though, I think Mark Hominick's going to win this fight by decision, and a great way to start off the the televised portion of the card. Next up, we got Miguel Angel Torres taking on Charlie Valencia. Miguel, on the comeback trail, he got absolutely destroyed by Joseph Benavidez his last fight. Took a big cut and then got tapped out by a guillotine. This is a good stylistic matchup for him. Charlie Valencia is a good fighter, but I don't think he is as good, or I don't really think he's as good in any aspect of his game as Miguel Torres. I think Miguel's a better submission wrestler. I think Miguel's a better stand-up fighter. Wrestling kind of evens itself out. Neither of these guys, that's not really their strong suit. But I'm going to favor Miguel Torres to win this fight. Charlie's tough, though, so I think it'll probably go to a decision. I think it'll be a good, exciting fight. A couple Mexican guys willing to throw down. So, being a boxing fan myself, I know how that goes when you get two smaller Mexicans in there. But Miguel Torres, he's been training elsewhere, up at TriStar with George St. Pierre's camp, if not with GSP himself. But I think Miguel's going to come to the table ready for this, hungry. At least it appears to be the case based off his Twitter. So I'm going to go with Miguel Torres to win this by decision. Next up, the fight I'm most looking forward to, Jamie Varner versus Donald the Cowboy Cerrone rematch. These guys had a fight, it might have been 2 years ago at this point. I know it was at least a year ago. Good fight. Varner was winning. Then Donald the Cowboy Cerrone, and I believe it was the 5th round, caught him with a knee to the eye, I guess. Varner says it was to the eye. Donald disagrees. I still can't tell, going back and watching it over and over again. Jamie's coming off a fight where he got a draw, but he should have got a win over Kamal Shalarus. Donald Cerrone's come off a disappointing loss to Ben Henderson in the rematch. He got guillotine choked in less than a minute. I was really disappointed by that fight. I really was looking forward to that rematch as good as their first fight was. But I'm looking forward to this fight. Bad blood. These guys don't like each other. Donald Cerrone's been talking a lot of stuff in the build-up to this fight. And, he even gotten a little bit of trouble, saying he hopes Jimmy Varner is the first death in MMA. I think he was just, got caught up in the moment. Nothing serious. I don't take that stuff seriously. But either way, I'm a fan of Donald Cerrone, but I don't know. Stylistically, I don't know if this is the perfect matchup. We saw Jamie Varner. Donald doesn't have the best takedown defense. Varner's strong suit is wrestling. However, Donald has gotten his submission game down even better than the first time they fought. Really good with the guillotines. So I think that Varner, when he shoots in, especially if the fight goes later into the 3rd round, and he gets sloppy on those shots, he might get caught in a guillotine similar as he did against Ben Henderson. If the fight's anytime the fight's on his feet, I favor Donald Cerrone. Now, don't get me wrong, Jimmy Varner's a good boxer, got some good power, but I think Donald Cerrone's stand-up game is more versatile, especially with his kicks and his knees and stuff in the clinch. Tough fight to call. I'm a big fan of Cowboy. Stylistically, I think the fight favors Varner a little bit, but I'm going to ride with the Cowboy because I'm a fan, and I want him to win, and I think he can win. It's not just because I'm a fan. I really think he can win this fight, either by submission, but if it goes to a decision, I'm going to say Varner wins it. But if it ends before that, I think it'll be a Cowboys fight. On to the main event. Featherweight champion Jose Aldo taking on Manny Gamburyan. Once again, I was able to see both these guys' fights live. All these fights were at that big WEC earlier this year in Sacramento. Jose Aldo absolutely just took Uriah Faber apart for 5 rounds, kicked the hell out of his leg. Like I said yesterday on the radio show, completely quieted, silenced a rabid, Arco Arena, Uriah Faber's hometown crowd. I was there, and the crowd was ready for Uriah, and Jose Aldo made, shut everyone up real quick. Not me, because I didn't really care who won. I was just excited to see the fight. Manny Gamburyan, as I said as well, also quieted the crowd by surprisingly out of nowhere knocking out Mike Brown. I expected Mike Brown to win that fight, but Manny caught him and dropped him. I do think Manny deserves his title shot. However, I don't think he has much of a shot of winning. Manny likes to take guys down. As we saw, obviously he has power in his hands, but his game is getting guys down using top control, getting them down with his judos, just kind of grinding guys out with his ground and pound. However, as we've seen in Jose Aldo's fights, this guy is on a serious run right now. He has looked just unbeatable since joining the WEC. He's hard to take down, as we saw in the Mike Brown and Uriah Faber's fights. He's faster than Manny Gamburyan. He's got better footwork. He's a taller fighter, lengthier fighter. I think he's going to be able to keep Manny at bay with his punches and kicks. And I think when Manny gets in the clinch, maybe Manny will be able to get him down. He does got that good judo background. But even if he does, I don't know how much damage he's going to be able to do. Jose Aldo's got a really good, underrated jiu-jitsu game. We haven't really got to see much of it because he hasn't been on his back much, but he does have a good jiu-jitsu game. And I think he has the ability to get up off his back, as we've seen as well. So I don't think this fight's going to make it all 5 rounds. I do think Jose Aldo, I just think it's a good stylistic matchup for him. Anything can happen in a fight, you never know. But I think Jose Aldo is going to, I don't want to say he's going to dominate over 5 rounds the way he did against Uriah Faber, but I do think he will be, it'll be a dominant victory for him. And I do think he'll win the fight, like I said, within 5 rounds. So I'm going to go with Jose Aldo to win this fight by TKO somewhere in 3rd, 4th round. But once again, should be a really good event. I'm really looking forward to it. And casual MMA fans that haven't got a chance to see WEC, or like I said on the radio show, boxing fans that are somewhat interested in seeing MMA, make sure you check out WEC. It might make you a fan. At least it should make you a fan of the WEC because it's a show worth watching every time out, in my opinion. That's it for now. I don't know if I'll be back the next day to talk about these fights or not. Probably not. I'll probably just talk about them on the radio show next Sunday. Once again, though, if you want to check out the radio show, Science of Violence Radio Show, where we talk about these more, I'll put a link in there for you as always, as well as a link to my Twitter. And tune into Science Violence Radio every Sunday at 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 Eastern, 5 Central. That's it for now, guys. Until next time.